Hey there crew, it's Mark, and we have some backlog stationery we have to open up. We have some inks and stuff from Atlas Stationaries. Also, some very cool things all the way from Zebra Japan from my friends from Zebra here in the US. So let's go ahead and start opening everything up and taking a look at the pens first because, well, we've got some interesting ones here in the stack. So the first pen we're going to take a look at is a new one to me from Lamy. I think I've told you before, but Lamy was my very first fountain pen. I had the All-Star and I just fell in love with it. I love writing with them. It was like $35. This is the Lamy Safari. This is a matte charcoal. This is a relatively inexpensive pen because it's made out of ABS plastic, so it's not metal or anything else like that. It still has a really nice feel to it, a cool texture. And what's cool about these pens is that it does come with a cartridge. You can add a converter if you want to, but they're always just great pens to use. I got this one in a medium, and that way I can put maybe some of the inks that we have today inside of here, showing off a little bit of extra characteristics that are in there. I also have a lot of extra fine and fine, so I'm starting to kind of even out my collection with some mediums and getting a little bit of a thicker line on my page. All right, our next pen is a fun one. When I saw this, I was like, well, this is different. I have to have it in my collection. This one is from Sailor, and it's called the Tuzu. It's an adjustable pen, so you can actually rotate the nib around as you need to, and it's pretty awesome, and I can't wait to check this one out. So I got this one in a translucent navy color. So this isn't like the nicest looking pen, like from a fancy standpoint. I see it as more of just like a cool pen because of what the nib can do. It does come with two cartridges in here. It comes with instructions because this was not necessarily very intuitive to figure out right from the top. This pen runs anywhere between like $45 to $55, depending if it's on sale or not and where you get it, and also comes in a few different colors. It's all plastic, so the clip here is plastic with kind of like a metal on the inside a little bit, it looks like. It comes with a converter already inside of it. Can appreciate that. Again, I personally love converters because I can add my own fountain pen ink, but if you're a cartridge kind of person, you're good to go. Now, the top of this is what makes this pen so fancy. So you can see that the holder here is kind of already molded to hold inside of your hand, but you have this option if you want to write with the nib on an angle. So what you do is you unscrew this little washer looking deal right here, and then you can move the grip around. So it kind of gives the effect that your nib is rotating, but really it's the grip that's rotating and then the rest of the pen kind of goes with it. But there's these little slots that are in here that kind of catch the grip as you go around. So this way I'm still holding it with the grip correctly, but as you can see, the nib is angled more towards the left. Now, I've actually seen a bunch of people online writing this way, a lot of lefties actually, and I'm curious if maybe this is just a different way that you can write with a fountain pen on its side like that. So we'll give this a try in the future, see how this works out, but I saw it online and I thought, well, I have to have a nib that looks like it rotates around and we can kind of see what that looks like in the future. All right, so the last pen that we got as a part of this package is another one from TWSBI. Y'all know that I love my TWSBIs. I have a number of them in my collection, but this is one that I didn't have. And getting this one is actually a dual purpose. So this is the TWSBI VAC 700R. This is a full-size VAC pen. So I actually have a smaller one, which we'll look at in just a second, which is actually the reason that I got this larger one. We'll get back to that. But this is just a gorgeous pen altogether. Great body. Love the small black accents. And the clip is actually beautiful as well. Just overall stylish pen. This one runs $65 if you're interested in getting it. Again, price may vary depending on sales, but overall just a really beautiful pen. Really love it a lot. What's so cool about the VAC pens, if you haven't seen them work before, is you unscrew the back and you lift it up. You'll see this plunger kind of pulls up in the pen. And when you press that plunger down and it reaches this section right here, all the ink gets sucked up inside of the pen. So it doesn't need a converter. It doesn't need cartridges. It's kind of all self-contained. Now, the reason that I got this pen was actually for the top part of this pen here, because they're actually interchangeable. So you have different nibs that you can use with it. Now, the reason that I got this one is that I have the VAC Mini from TWSBI, which overall, pretty good pen. The problem I've been having with it is that the body, the neck where it screws on, keeps cracking. And this is actually a pen that I got a custom nib grind on from Kirk Spear when he was here in Colombia. And, well, I can't use the body of this pen anymore because it leaks, and I can't have any of that. So what's cool is that I can go ahead and unscrew this from this pen, and I'll go ahead and get this body replaced. It can be easily done. TWSBI sends replacements if this happens, which has now happened twice, which I'm a little sad about. And then you can put it onto another pen. So I can have that custom nib that I have from my other pen, use it on the larger one here until I get the other one replaced. So again, I have a nice full-size vac pen now, which is great, holds more ink. I think I actually might prefer that more than the other one, honestly. Also, I can use this without having to post it, but you can post it if you want to. Just a number of reasons I've talked myself into it, but more than anything, it is so that I can replace the top parts of these pens and use different nibs with the same pen body. All right, the next part of our July stationery stash here is going to be some inks, Dominant Industry, Colorverse ink, and then we'll also show you these cool little deals that I got from Zebra. I can't wait to show those to you. But first, these beautiful inks. So the first thing we're going to take a look at is Atlantis. Now, this is from Dominant Industry. So I was first introduced to this brand when Harmony from Joy Letters sent me some samples of ink. Actually, the one ink that I have up next is a small sample she sent me. I loved it so much I needed the full size. So this is my first time unpackaging any full-sized items from them. And talk about presentation here. You got a nice little bag inside that's branded. And then when we take this ink out of here, you'll see this beautiful like teardrop shape. Now, Atlantis is this amazing blue. It's part of their shimmer collection, and you can see why there's so much inside of here. And when we do the ink swatch in just a moment, you will understand why this is called Atlantis. It is the most stunning color ink I have yet, and I got a whole lot of inks. So the next one here is actually the reason that I got this. So this is from Dominant Industry. This is Les Falices Étroites. So I am not going to be able to pronounce that perfectly, but it translates to the cliff in Étroites, which is in France. So this is a beautiful green. We've got a lot of shimmer inside of here. It's a perfect complement to Atlantis, but still falls inside of that same shimmer series that they have, which again, absolutely stunning. Can't wait to show it to you. Now, it wasn't my plan to get a bunch of shimmer inks, but when I saw exclusive to Atlas Stationers and a beautiful teal dark color, well, I had to have it. So this is from Colorverse. This is a collaboration with Atlas Stationers for Wolf Point. So if you didn't know, Atlas Stationers is from Chicago, and Wolf Point is the historic point between the Chicago River that splits into its south and its north branches. So they collaborated along with it. They have a beautiful dark colored ink. It's supposedly going to mirror the shimmer of the waters of the river and the dynamic spirit of the Windy City, which I love. Before we swatch that though, we're going to check out Zebra's Mildliner No Moto. So what is so amazing about this and what I'm so excited about is that Zebra has decided to take the ink that's inside of their Mildliners and put it inside of a bottle. So if you want to use a glass dip pen, you can do that. If you want to dip your Mildliner inside of these to add some different colors, you can. So my friends at Zebra USA went ahead and sent me 2 of these. I have the green, and then we also have the pink as well. So let's go ahead and start swatching. I've got 2 of Ferris Wheel Press inks on here that I just did the other day for myself, so we'll just keep using this sheet. Let's just go ahead in the order that I introduced you. So we'll go ahead with the Dominant Industry Atlantis first. This beautiful shimmer. I cannot wait to get this on the paper so you can see just how absolutely stunningly beautiful this ink is. You can see just by the shimmer that's on the inside of the cap. This is gonna be awesome. What I love about this ink so much is it's a mix of 2 of my favorite colors. So you're going to see some of the green ink mixing with the blue shimmer that's inside of here. And just this beautiful swirl of amazingness that this color leaves on the page. And what I'm so excited about with this also is that when writing with it, so yes, you're going to get some of those really cool mixes of those greens and the blues and the shimmers. Really super dynamic color, and I love that. All right, let's go up with the other Dominant Industry color. So this one's going to be actually somewhat similar when you actually swatch them out. It's just that the Falices Étroites has a little bit of more of a green to it than the blue, but you get some of those same color mixings that comes out of it. I consider them like brothers and sisters here. You know, they kind of have the same vibe, but they have a little bit of different personality. All right, next, let's go ahead and try out the Colorverse Wolf Point. When I saw this ink, I was like, man, so often we see these shimmer inks that are very bright and very vibrant. Even the two dominant industry ones that we have here, even though they're on a little bit of the darker side, they still have a different kind of personality, So this one, I thought, okay, we're going to get some of this because this looks really awesome. So when you swatch this out, you really do kind of see the mix of these two things in here. You have your base ink color, which is this really dark teal, and then you have the dark shimmer that's on top of there. So the personality really starts to speak. It's got a totally different feel from a lot of the other shimmer inks that I personally have. So one of the reasons that I added this to the collection was for that. Also because it's exclusive, and that word really just hits a part of my brain that says, Mark, you need this. All right, for the Mildliners, the No Moto, we're going to have some fun with this. So we'll do a real quick swatch. I actually want to see how close this ink looks to the actual Mildliner pen colors that we have. And I'm pretty sure that I have both of these colors in my collection. I feel like I have all of them, honestly. After all the great work I've done with Zebra, they always give me more pens and highlighters and Mildliners, and I won't say no. The pink looks pink, but when we're swatching this mild green, it to me personally looks a lot darker than I feel like any of the other Mildliners do. Obviously, yes, it's ink and it's coming down in a different amount than it comes out of a pen. But for me, it just looks very dark. But let's go ahead and grab some actual Mildliners and we'll see how close the two colors are to what comes out of the pen. And then we're going to have a little fun with some Mildliners because you can dip Mildliners into this ink, like different colors. I don't know if this is going to be a good or a bad thing, but we'll have some fun with it. We have coral pink here, which is different than mild baby pink, but I feel like it should be somewhat close. And I think that it is. It looks very, very, very close. Almost exactly the same here. Now the mild green, I don't know. Something about this is going to make me say no, but the Mildliner itself is much lighter than the ink that is inside of the No Moto bottle here. Real quick though, closer look at all of these. So dominant industry, Atlantis, you can see now why, right? Like how amazing is that? All of these colors look so good. And I love the little hints of the shimmer that's inside of these. Again, while I'm not like a big, huge glittery guy, I do have a whole lot of shimmer inks that go inside of my fountain pens. And I just think that it's a nice little extra personality that's inside of these, and I don't know, it's shiny and it's very cool looking, and I'm excited to start to use some of these in some fountain pens. I'm going to be honest, I'm kind of dreading this. I feel like I'm going to potentially ruin my markers, but the directions say that we can use Zebra Mildliner brush pens with the No Moto ink, so that is exactly what we're going to go ahead and try to do here. I wanted to pick Mildliner colors that were like close but not too close because I think that gradation should look really cool if it works. So what I have is just a magenta Mildliner here. And we're gonna go ahead and dip this into the baby pink. And ooh, look at that. We get like a little hint of it here, but then I feel like it like quickly goes back. It's like a little tiny bit darker. Now, don't forget I'm color deficient here. So like if that's a totally different color, you let me know in the comments. But right when you dip it in, you get those very dark pinks, which then start to morph more into that magenta color, and then you can see it like almost go all the way. Now, the thing about these pens is that they're made to eventually kind of clean themselves, right? Like it's that felt tip. So you can see some of that pink ink still on here. So over time, once we use this brush, we'll be able to get rid of that and it'll go back to normal. Maybe it's a bit too close, but I went ahead with the mild green and then I picked out this like lemon yellow color here. So this is what we look like normal. And then we'll go ahead and dip the top part of our pen in here. And then, yeah, you get that darker green here at the top. Kind of turned it all kind of darker. Then it goes away real quick. I don't know. I expected more gradation, I guess, between the two colors. I don't know if it's just the color mix. I don't know. I'm not seeing what I thought I wanted to see. So let's go ahead and try it with a different color. I feel like I really want to see like a hardcore gradient between the two colors. So let's go very hard on the other side. So we'll go with this very, very light blue color here. And we'll dip this into the mild green. Oh my goodness, what did I just do to my pen? All right. So different color. Definitely lightens it up a little bit. And then let's go ahead and just draw out some lines and see how quickly it'll transition from the mild green back to, if ever, oh my goodness, what did I do? My blue Mildliner. This is why it's good to have as many Mildliners as I have in case you want to do things like this. I mean, it's definitely a lighter green color, right? You're going to get more, I'm guessing, more of like a teal, like a green leaning teal than a blue leaning teal here. But because I'm having a mini panic attack, let's see how long it takes until all the green comes out of this pen and it comes back to normal. It's weird. It feels, I don't know the right word for it, but it doesn't feel like a Mildliner when it's writing so much with that green ink on the tip of it. Oh, good. Okay, we're coming back to normal here. We're like squeezing out the last little bits of green that are in there, but definitely came back to normal. You can see that a lot of the ink is starting to kind of come out of there too, which is good. I think I've overdone myself on inks and markers today, so let's go to my safe space, which is going to be clear stamps. This is a brand new collection from one of my favorite stamp creators, Christine Herron. She is the owner, runner, and everything of Everyday Explorers, and I've fallen in love with her stamp collections because they just speak to me. But this collection is just awesome. It comes in this fantastic storage sleeve, and everything on here is amazing, right? We have things like documented and taking notes, journaling, story details, rants, today's download, like all these things inside of here that I think are just so smart. I've come to the point where I actually think I just want to start keeping her stamps just out on my desk because I feel like I would just use them instantly in my journal. What I want to show you is just how clean these stamps are. What I mean by that is sometimes you'll buy stamps and you press them down and you kind of get like this feathering around the outside, while some of that is probably the ink pad maybe that you're using. The stamps themselves too, when they're not great quality, they kind of get that feathering or not a great look or a great press. That's kind of what I call it. I don't know if that's what it's called or not, but I'm using VersaFine ink here, which I find just works wonderfully, especially with her stamps because of the small detail. And you just press them down and they just look so good. It looks exactly like what you see on the outside, right? And that's exactly what a stamp is supposed to be. If you'd like to check out everything we had in today's video, I'll put all the links for you down in the descriptions below. I do have some discount codes for inks over at Atlas Stationers and also just the links for Everyday Explorers I love so much. So thanks for hanging out. Thanks for checking out all these cool stashes. We've got the inks, we've got the stamps, we've got the pens, and my friends, I hope you have a great rest of your day. See ya.